Welcome to the JP8 Report. This is James Pierce with the JP8 Report, episode 31. Who Wants Power is what I'm going to name this one. So episode 31. I can't believe we're in the 30s. Okay, that's pretty good we started at the beginning of the year. Thank y'all, everybody, for your support. And as a reminder, if you're viewing us on Rumble or on YouTube or Podbean, don't forget to click follow and get your notifications. And please, the only way to build our audience is to share us out and tell people about my conservative talk podcast. Okay, there's people out there that they don't understand, and I'm just going to give you the truth and stuff. And the ones that y'all do listen to me, I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Okay, so this episode is Who Wants Power? Okay, so with that being said, with the power part, so in the news, okay, let me get to it. Okay, so in the news yesterday, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday because it's been all over the place today. Former President Trump, they're keeping his ban on Facebook in response to comments he made concerning January 6th. I tell you, these people, unelected people, and I don't care if it's Facebook, Twitter, Google, YouTube. I think they believe that they actual hold the power in our country. They are sadly mistaken. They are citizens just like us. And what you have is a group of people in our country that control the internet. And I mean, they're not technically in charge of the IP addresses, but and if you don't know what IP address, go ahead and Google it, or go to DuckDuckGo and search it. Okay, and IP yeah, we won't go there. Okay, so what you got is a group of people that are controlling what people see on social media. That's a better way to put it. So with that, the former president can't get on Twitter. He can't get on Facebook. He can't get on YouTube. Dan Bongino, one of my favorite podcasters out there, he interviewed the former president on his podcast, and when it got translated over to YouTube, they canceled it. They wiped it off his site. Unbelievable. You're affecting the freedom of speech from the most senior person that was elected to our country, the 45th president of the United States. And you're going to wipe him off. You want to keep wiping him off so he can't run for president again, or run for any other type of office, or endorse people. And people, they look at email sometimes, but they go to social networking for most of their information they get. And they want to nix them off the face of the earth and make them disappear. You know, a lot of kids, they use all these platforms. My daughters tell me about Twitch and Reddit and all this stuff. Wow, it's like, really? I never believed they had all that stuff out there. Twitter, a friend of mine that has his own podcast said he got a boost on his subscription rate by subscribing to putting his podcast on Twitter. I have a principle. My personal principle that's close to me is I will survive with 10 subscribers for the rest of the time I want to do this podcast, because I will never be part of the Twitter universe. No way, no way, no way. Even as an elected official, I never use Twitter. No, 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 no. It ain't happened. And, you know, and I would recommend anybody else out there that has one of those accounts, get rid of it. Don't use it and get rid of it. All you're doing is playing into their hands, making them rich, and y'all being exploited the entire time. And YouTube, and you got to be careful what you put on there. I mean, I put this broadcast on there. I watch what I say to a point. I want to say the truth, but they don't have any right, whether they believe so or legally, to inflict the freedom of speech on their subscribers. If they want to regulate what we say on their platforms, you know what they need to do? They need to start charging us a fee so they can actually exercise editorial comment requirements on it. Until then, let us speak our free will, whether you like it or not, because right now I see a lot of it's one-sided. These people actually believe that they can donate to the liberal side of their causes and do whatever they want and get away with it. And they'll ban Republicans and conservatives off the face. They've done their job on Judicial Watch and Project Veritas, countless other conservative sites. President Trump. This is ridiculous. But I'm going to tell them one thing. I hope someone gets it to them. You know what? The dog can bite its owner too. Okay? Believe it or not. You may think you got it good now, but but y'all Democrats out there, they're going to come for you. They're going to treat you just like they treat Republicans, because all they want is power. They want the power to manipulate. You got 5 or 6 multi-billionaires out there, billionaires raking in the money from advertising in their sites, and we just la 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 la, and we keep using our information sources. But this is what I'm going to tell these people on that control these social networking places. One of these days, the Democrats are going to wake up, and they're going to like, you know what? The Republicans were right all along. And when you get a bipartisan fashion like that, I guarantee you, right now, your days are toast. You're numbered. The best thing you can do is to leave the American public alone. If you're allowing dictators from around the world to post whatever they want on your platforms and you turn a blind eye to them, but when you're in the United States, you want to censor people to erase them effectively? Are you out of your mind? I dare you to move your platform to Beijing. Or, I forgot what the capital of Venezuela was, or Havana, or Moscow. Move your headquarters there and see how much freedom of speech you have. How much editorial control you have over your platforms in. This is the United States of America. We have the First Amendment. And I understand that amendment, those amendments protect us from the government. But you're controlling our speech. Our speech. And that's unbecoming. How dare you do that to us? How dare you? You know, I went to combat 3 times. They give you the right to speak your mind and do what you want. and this is how we're treated? You want to regulate the speech of everyone else? Look, those things, people say things. I watch TV shows sometimes. I really don't like what some people say. I may say something about it to my wife or my kids, but you know what? I know they got the freedom of speech to say what they want. Why would you control the speech of another American? People look up to us, the lighthouse of democracy, and we got people that want to shut us up. How dare you do that? So I really hope the Democrats and Republicans get together and either delete it or amend it. Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act of 1996, if I remember right. I'm so riled up now. Or take some money out of their pockets, or throw an antitrust suit on them and break them up. If they could break up AT&T in 1983, or Standard Oil back in the early 1900s, why can't they break up Amazon and Facebook and Google? You ever click on the little tic-tac-toe space in the upper right-hand corner of Google Chrome, and how many different platforms Google uses in their software? Unbelievable what they have on there. How many different companies? You look at you look at Facebook. How many different companies does Facebook own? You know what? Sometimes they buy them, then promise them a rose garden, and then all of a sudden those people are all gone, and that platform is absorbed up into Facebook. I can tell you right now, Facebook, I know for a fact, you got Facebook, you got WhatsApp, you got Workplace, and you have Instagram. Those are 4 companies I know, and they make a lot of money off of those platforms. But why do they need it all? Why? You want to limit your competition? You want Mark Zuckerberg to keep making billions more dollars? You want to be like Bill Gates, $130 billion billionaire fixing to get divorced, and his wife is probably going to have $70 billion, and he's going to have $70 billion or something like that. How much money do you actually need? You keep funding Democratic candidates. You won't fund Republican candidates, but then you want to limit our freedom of speech. You know what? I think you're a political action committee, and you need to be investigated by the FEC and to find out what you're really doing. Same thing with Google and Amazon. The owner of Amazon is Jeff Bezos. He owns Amazon. He owns Whole Foods. He owns Amazon Web Services. So if you platform an app on an app, your servers are probably stored with Amazon Web Services. He's trying to fly to the moon now. What else does he own? Amazon. He owns, I forgot what the other one. See, I'm really, really riled up right now about this stuff. I really think the Congress should regulate them as a trust and bust them. Do an antitrust lawsuit on them, bust them apart. The liberals out there think more people should have more money and spread the wealth. How about splitting those companies up and create more millionaires? Give someone a fair shake. Give them a chance. Unless they just really like those guys giving them money and stuff and making them richer and richer and richer and consolidate all their power. This is ridiculous. These people are crazy. I don't understand them. That's the solution. Break them apart. Because all they're going to do is keep deplatforming people, especially Republicans. And they'll probably come after libertarians next. This is crazy. Why do we tolerate it? Why do we tolerate it? So they can effectively one-side the speech and throughout the country, so the liberal press gets their free reign or whatever they want to say against the Republicans and President Trump and leave an elderly person in the presidency that we really don't think he's actually in charge from the way he ran and from the way he's governing? They're just playing games with us and talk about the presidency, and they're using COVID to consolidate their power on the United States. I saw a picture of the vice president and her husband kissing, which is all right. They kissed each other with the mask on. Are they afraid they're going to contaminate each other? Infect them? I bet they don't wear that mask inside their house when they kiss. All they want to do is scare us. Keep scaring us so they can keep taking more money from the taxpayers of this country and keep us in a lockdown situation as long as they can to consolidate their power and keep us afraid. Because Big Brother can help. You know what? I learned a long time ago. If someone comes and says, hey, I'm from the government, I'm here to help, you probably need to hit them or run. Because this is stupid. They're playing us like we're fools. They're playing us like we're fools. It's time the Republicans stand up and force the issue. If you got to get out like Maxine Waters, get in their face. Whenever you see them, confront them. Tell them how you really feel. Get out there and vote. Get out there and vote like right north in my hometown, the Texas 6th Congressional District, where I grew up in Fort Worth. A good portion of the 6th Congressional District is in Fort Worth. It runs all the way down through Waxahachie. You know what? The Democrats actually had the foggiest idea that, oh, wow, we're going to flip a Republican seat because President Trump won it by 3 points in November. And they got crushed by 30 points. 30 points. I bet they're dreading for next November to come. It was a jungle primary. They had 2 Republicans together, and plus the other Republicans that ran, got 65% of the vote. And the Democrats could only muster up 35%. That's a big change. That's telling you right now that people are not happy. So my suggestion to the Democrats is pack your bags. You're going back to your districts, and you're going to be unemployed. Hopefully you're not going to get no retirement out of it. See how the rest of us live. Oh, but your Democratic friends never deplatform you. Leave us Americans alone. Leave us Americans alone and let us do what we want and live free. Live free. And when you keep saying, and I'm not rich, I'm not wealthy, I'm far from it. But you keep saying, keep taxing the rich people. Keep taxing the rich people. If you didn't know, over half the country don't even pay a dime in taxes. And you want to keep taking more money from them. How about this little a nugget of wisdom? Stop spending money you don't have. Stop it. Because I don't want my country, the country I fought for, to go bankrupt. You may not care. You may not care. You think it's no really big deal. It is a big deal. Because I want my kids and my grandkids and great-grandkids to have something to look forward to. I'm 52 years old. I'll probably be gone within 30 years. Keep talking like this, it may be 5 years. This is crazy. Why we got people that all they want is the power. The power. We elect Congress. We elect the presidency. And the Congress and the president, they talk amongst each other and solve problems. And when they can't solve the problems, they go to the judicial branch and they'll tell you what's what's constitutional and what's not constitutional. You know, all these unions and lobbyists, there needs to be a federal law. You know what it needs to be? A federal law saying that lobbyists can't influence the government. Right now, you got teachers' unions out there telling the CDC what to write. Why? The teachers' unions are supposed to represent the teachers while they're working, not when they're on vacation, not while they're eating bonbons and on Zoom and watching soap operas on TV, because it's probably what they're doing. We need to get our act together. President Biden wants the good union jobs. All they're going to do is the good union jobs is the SOCUS. They keep raising the pay, which causes the cost of living to go up, and no one can afford to do anything in our country, so we turn to the government. Oh, we need help. We can't afford to live. We need more welfare assistance. We need more Section 8. You know what? It's there for a reason. But you don't need to be jacking up the cost of living in our house by making everyone have super cool LED lights, which LED lights are cool, but making everyone have solar panels and electric cars. I want to spend $50,000 on an electric car. Well, how about if I can only afford $15,000? Oh, no. Because if you buy that $15,000 car, you got to pay for $6 a gallon gas. I'll be a monkey's uncle. This is crazy. You're killing us, guys. You're killing us. Man. That's all it is. One big power grab. They want to keep us in a state of emergency because of the COVID-19 until the elections so they can try to win. They're not. I'll make a prediction right now. Democrats have about a 6-seat lead in the House of Representatives, about a 6-seat lead in the House of Representatives. I bet next November, after it's all said and done, I bet there will be a 45 seat majority for the Republicans. So instead of 218, it'll be about 238. We'll round it off. 240 Republicans in the House of Representatives. Okay. And then we'll build our majority back in the Senate also. And I hope Chucky Schumer gets beat. Man. So, how long have I been online? 23 minutes. Okay. Two other things I want to talk about is one came out today about Iran. The State Department says sanctions are on the table. They're fooling us again. They want our adversaries to have nuclear weapons. What's the purpose of nuclear weapons? You think Saudi Arabia or one of the other companies is going to develop nuclear weapons and attack Iran? No, they're just defending themselves. So if they don't have nuclear weapons, why would the rest of the Middle East have nuclear weapons? Keep the sanctions on them and force them to be peacefully in the Middle East. If they leave everybody else alone, they'll leave him alone. This is crazy. Come on, guys. We're just fooling ourselves. We're letting the fools run the government. The fools are running the government. So all they're going to do is set us up. They're setting us up in China. They're setting us up in Iran. They're probably going to set us up in North Korea. They're going to set us up in Russia. And all of a sudden, spark. And bullets are going to fly somewhere. We need competent, wise people in charge of our government. I'm not even going to get in on the southern border. I did that in my last podcast. I had very few people. I wish people would listen to it because it was actually a good podcast. That'd be episode 30. Go back and listen to it. So the last thing I want to talk about is here in my great state of Texas. You can see it right there behind me. I have our state flag on there. And Texas, Texas, Texas. So yesterday, after it already passed the state house, it went to the state Senate, the Texas Senate, and on a vote of 18-13, permitless constitutional carry passed. It's got to go before another vote, but we're about to have it. To help us out with the Second Amendment, because that is our right. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That is cool. And then along with that, we had the heartbeat bill that passed. The heartbeat bill, and then election reform. We're going to secure our elections to make it fair for all Texans to be able to vote. So they don't have to worry about how they're going to vote, where they're going to go vote. So everybody will know, and it'll be free and fair. And nobody has to worry about people cheating. So the word fraudulent elections never come back up again, which should be the goal, all Americans and all Texans anyway, right? So the heartbeat bill limits abortion to 6 weeks after conception. So after you pass the 6-week mark, which is 6 times 7 is 42, so 42 days after conception, abortions would be legal in Texas. I'm a staunch anti-abortion person anyway, and plus, if you didn't know, 18 days you can hear a baby's heart. So that's a living person inside of him, inside of a woman. Okay, that's awesome. Yes, it is. So I hope everybody had a great day. And if I sounded like I was ranting and raving, I got my dander up, and I was telling you how it is, because I'm sick and tired and sick of all Americans being taken advantage of. These people, all they want is power, and they want to take it away from us Americans. And we are Americans. We're Texans. Let's keep up the fight and make our country free and fair, whether you be Democrat or Republican. Okay? There's more I could talk about, but I'm going to leave it there. I hope everyone, thank you very much for listening, for watching, whether it be on Rumble or YouTube or Podbean. And don't forget to subscribe and share, especially if you see myself on Facebook. Share my episodes out so people can see it and subscribe. Okay, guys? And this is James Pierce with the JP8 Report. I'm out.